If you want the exact formula for cold messaging on LinkedIn that actually works and is getting our clients filled calendars with their ideal prospects, then you are in the right place. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to generate leads on LinkedIn using cold messaging that actually works, and ultimately how you can utilize cold messaging or cold outreach to scale your business. Are you ready? Let's dive straight in. What is cold messaging? You might have heard this term being thrown around, but cold messaging is simply reaching out to somebody who doesn't know you. The way that we use cold outreach to generate leads is by finding our ideal prospects on LinkedIn, sending them a connection request to connect, and once they've accepted our connection request, sending them a cold outreach message or a cold message with the end goal of getting them on a call to pitch our product and service. There are a lot of common misconceptions around cold messaging that I want to make sure that we overcome before I show you the perfect formula on how to utilize it to generate leads. The first is that people hate cold messaging. And while that is somewhat true, people hate cold messaging that is done incorrectly and done really badly. And the truth is that most pitches or most messages that you get on LinkedIn are done really badly. But there is a method that you could utilize to create a cold outreach message that actually produces results and doesn't feel spammy or pitchy. The goal is to create a cold message that speaks directly to the pain points and problem that your ideal prospect is facing. And if you could do that and provide them with a solution, you can get results using cold outreach. The second is that LinkedIn is only for building relationships and building connections. And although that is somewhat true, it's not the only purpose. LinkedIn is a business-to-business platform, and people are expecting to do business through LinkedIn. The best way to do that is through a cold outreach message so that you could take somebody through the next steps in your sales process. The third is doing cold messaging will give me a bad reputation. I cannot tell you how many times I have heard this. And yes, it's true. If your cold message is bad and is not resonating with your audience, it might give you a bad reputation, but trust me, people are not thinking about you, they're thinking about themselves. Cold messaging done right will produce results, and your prospects will thank you for reaching out to them because you will help them actually attain an outcome. Both our team internally and our clients are getting leads and meetings with our ideal prospects on a daily basis. So trust me, cold messaging does work, and it is here to stay. With that said, how do you craft the perfect message to take somebody from just being a connection or a contact on LinkedIn to a place where you can get them on a call to pitch your product and service? The reality is both you and I have received really bad pitch messages on LinkedIn. So I want to show you the formula that you could use every time to create messaging that resonates with your ideal prospect and that gets results. So here is the formula for crafting the perfect cold message. Step 1, formatting matters. You want to keep your message as short and concise as possible. People do not have time to read long paragraphs of how great you are and what your business does. You want to keep it short and to the point, ideally under 100 words. Instead of writing in really long blocks of paragraphs, try and keep your sentences to one line each. That makes it really easy for your prospect to read through or even skim through your message. Number 2, focus on a hyper-targeted audience. Ask yourself the question, who am I reaching out to and what specifically can I do for them? Meaning, what result can I help them attain? You don't want to write out all of the products and services that you provide, which I often see people do on LinkedIn. Instead, identify one specific pain point that your ideal prospect is facing and identify one service or product that can help them overcome and get to an end result. I recommend to get a very hyper-targeted audience that you utilize LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And you could watch this video next where I walk you through how to create a search search of your ideal prospects. Number 3, focus on one problem that you solve. The best way to get somebody to say yes to a call is to hit on a major problem they are facing in their life, in their relationship, in their business, in their health. Whatever that looks like for your product and service, hit on that major pain point in your messaging. Number 4, add a strong call to action. The call to action is the finishing touch on your outreach message. You have to be very specific on the action that you want them to take after reading your message. And my final point for creating a perfect cold outreach message is to focus on them and not on you. This is probably the biggest mistake that I see people make when creating cold messages. Way too many cold messages on LinkedIn are focused on we and I and how great we are and all the products and services that we have and how we can help you. And though I'm sure that you are awesome, the truth is that your prospects do not care. The number one topic that people love to talk about is themselves. So in order to have a cold message that actually performs, you want to put the focus on your prospect. Talk about them, their business, their life, their goals, their family. And if you can put the focus on them, you can actually create a message that resonates with your audience. Now that you know the formula for creating that perfect message, I want to show you 2 examples. One is of a really bad cold message, and I see very common messages on LinkedIn like this. And the second is a really good message that hits on the points that we just discussed and that you could utilize and customize based on your audience and your offer. So here's an example of a bad message. Hello Jenny, my name is Cindy Dodd and I wanted to grow my network here on LinkedIn. We help businesses with SEO, digital marketing, websites, and social media. If you ever need, please reach out. So there are a couple of things wrong with this message, and let's dive into a few. The first is we help businesses. What type of businesses do you help? Do you help marketing agencies? Do you help coaching or consulting businesses? Like, who is your hyper target audience? Because in this message, there was no hyper target audience. The use of we, right? This is just showing that you're focusing on you and not the prospect. I didn't see any mention of a pain that the prospect is potentially facing, and there was really no focus on the prospect at all. The focus was on them and their business. The third issue was listing out all the things that they do: SEO, digital marketing, websites, social media. Remember, we said you want to focus on one specific outcome that we could help them attain, and just talking about all of the products and services that we offer is not helpful and it's not effective in cold messaging. And the last issue is that call to action. And this is one that I see so often on LinkedIn. If you are ever in need, please reach out, or if you ever get some time, let's have a conversation. That is not a strong or clear call to action, and quite frankly, it's not going to produce any results. People are not going to reach out to you when they have a need. If you are doing cold outreach, you need to tell them what steps you want them to take next. With that out the way, let's look at a really good cold message that produces results. And again, we utilize this exact same formula in-house, and it's helping us to produce meetings. Let's take a look. Hi Jenny, glad we're connected. If you're tired of spending 20+ hours a week on social media and content with little results to show for it, we should chat. We help busy medical practice owners boost their social media presence by 80%, leading to a 40% boost in revenue in under 90 days. If you're curious, we should chat. What day and time works best for a 15-minute call? Okay, so let's dissect this message a bit. What are some things that we did well? First, it's short and concise, right? It's a very concise and to the point message. There are no long paragraphs. It is really potent and very specific. The second part is we called out a very specific audience, right? Here we said medical practice owners. So we're talking to a very specific target audience and not just all businesses. And this is also helpful as you are targeting on LinkedIn. You could call out the specific job title or type of person that you are targeting through your messaging. The next is we started with a problem that the prospect is facing, right? If you are spending 20+ hours a week on social media with no results, that's a pain point. And we touched on that because if somebody is facing that, they're going to resonate with our message. We spoke specifically about how we can help solve that problem with results. So we gave metrics and numbers here, right? Boosting social media presence by 80%, boosting revenue by 40%. These are specific measures measurable outcomes. And this is how you create a super potent outreach message. And lastly, we had a very clear call to action. What day and time works best for a 15-minute call? So how are they going to respond? With a date and time that works best for them. I hope that you found this video useful on cold messaging that actually works. Now, if you want to see how we're helping other coaches, consultants, agencies, and B2B service providers get flooded with meetings with their ideal prospects, I want you to download the free resource that I have right below this video, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Watch this video next for more info on how to generate leads using LinkedIn. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.